It is almost summer, but it's never too early to talk about the business of basketball at our state's flagship university, the University of Connecticut. With us here today is the head coach of the men's basketball team, Coach Dan Hurley. And Coach Hurley, great to see you here in the program.
Great to be here.
A belated welcome to Connecticut. I know you've been here for about a year, and you moved in from Rhode Island. So what do you think of Connecticut so far?
Well, it's, obviously, I've seen about 4 different parts of it. Stores, the Champion Center, the XL Center, home, and the airport. And then, potentially, our favorite spot for recruiting dinners. So I have seen just kind of like a little square of it, but everyone's been so nice.
What do you think of the people and the fan base so far?
Well, I think it's a lot like where I'm from. I think it's a lot like New Jersey. I think they have tremendous passion for, everything UConn, but the difference for me is growing up in New Jersey, you'd go into a Dunkin' Donuts or into a restaurant, you'd see Giants, Jets, Knicks, Nets, Yankees. Even in Rhode Island, you'd go to Starbucks and you'd see Patriots, Red Sox, Celtics. You go anywhere here, all you see is that Husky logo everywhere, and because we are the flagship sports organization for the state.
Yeah, people love UConn in our state, love that Husky logo. When you got that call, and they told you you'd been hired, what went through your mind?
Well, for me, it was a dream come true. Just growing up, the 2 prominent programs, in college basketball, in terms of like championships and who I would want to emulate as a young coach were Duke and UConn, and those are the 2 best programs throughout my formative years in basketball. So the history, the tradition, just to be called on to rebuild the program and restore it to its former glory was just a dream come true for me.
There was no March Madness for UConn fans. I know you were saddened certainly about it. We were all saddened about it. What about next year?
I think we're going to be a lot better. I think the season's going to have a little bit of a different feel to it. There's going to be new, young, exciting players that I think you'll be able to see our potential future, better next year. I think all of our returning players showed a lot of promise this year, showed great improvement. I felt like the team this year would have done even better and potentially been a postseason team if we didn't have some critical injuries during the course of the year. So I'm just excited to just to continue up on this climb.
Could it be a Final Four team?
Final Four of no. Listen, when you're in the position that we're in, it's like you're just trying to get better, and it's our 3rd straight year of losing seasons. So we feel like we could really compete for a postseason next year, and that we'll take the next step in just this kind of rebuilding project.
How is UConn viewed in the high school world as you go out there and you recruit? What is the reputation of our university?
Just 4 or 5 years ago, these kids remember Shabazz Napier, the national championship team. They understand how big of a brand UConn is in college basketball in general, both sides, men's and women's. So, the brand is still exciting. Exciting student athletes that we're recruiting. They see the opportunity. They have a shared vision of what it could be. Obviously, we've got to continue to recruit the types of players that kind of led this program when it was once championship caliber.
Let's talk about the AAC ESPNDL. Some people love it, some people don't. Where do you stand on that?
You know what? I think the more you're on TV, the better. I understand where it's potentially going to go from a digital standpoint, years down the road, and being ahead of that. I understand that forward thinking, but kids want to hear that they're playing on ESPN, CBS, Fox. They want to play on nationally televised games, and then the relationship with SNY is a great one for us, and so our kind of television needs in the league are a little bit different than the rest of the conference.
What about some of the venues? Gamble Pavilion, XL Center obviously needs some work. Many people have said either tear it down, rebuild it, renovate it, make it perhaps NHL worthy as well as NCAA worthy. What do you think? What's your idea?
I probably can't speak as much as Gino did on it. I'll say this. It's 2 different types of crowds. When you've got a great crowd in the XL Center, you know, and you could get close to 18,000 in there. You know, it's a fine venue. It's loud. You know, during the national anthem, and you see that place packed. It's you know, it's big time. Playing in Gample's got such a great, you know, youthful, you know, more of that on-campus type of feel. You know, the challenge of it is, you know, some days you wake up on game day and, you know, oh, am I at XL? Am I at Gamble today? You know, so just kind of my first year with that was, it was unique.
But the bus driver knows where to go.
The bus driver, yeah, and the players, most importantly. You know, they're the most important people, so they know where to go.
Do you have a favorite arena out there that you would perhaps recommend that if we were to rebuild the XL Center, it should be like?
I just think that these the arenas right now with the and we went through it at, you know, at Rhode Island in the Ryan Center, just having all the HD video, ribbon wrap, you know, just all of the amenities that you know, for the fan experience. You know, we'll go play a basketball game out in the park during the summer, you know, or in the winter. You know, players will go play anywhere, coaches will go coach anywhere. You just want to have a great fan experience. Obviously, it has a big impact in recruiting too, you know, because of the types of arenas that the people that we're competing against have.
You know, one big issue that's come up a lot this past week is in terms of, should players be paid or be able to make some money off their likeness, images, things like that in their name?
Yeah, you know, I think at some point if we could get to you know, a point where they could make some money off their likeness, you know, I think that makes sense to me.
Do some players struggle financially?
They, for the most part, they all do. Yeah, obviously, the full scholarship, the cost of attendance that they get from the NCAA and from the university, you know, the level that we take care of our student athletes at right now is, you know, I think is first class. But you know, I think it would make it even better for them in terms of their ability, you know, to function academically, athletically. People have no idea the amount of time that these guys invest, you know, practice, study hall, travel, and if they could be compensated, you know, in some other way that way, with their likeness, I think that would make sense.
We're all very excited about the 2019-2020 season. Best of luck to you, Coach Hurley, and thanks for coming on the program.
Thanks.